and the tobacco sent to the processing plant. The processing plant, we supervision, okay, what texture have in the leaf, no? What leaf is seco, what leaf is viso, what leaf is ligero, no? I'm divided in 3 different categories, this tobacco. And after, processing for the fermentation, no? And the fermentation, that depends, okay, this seco, okay, is more like tobacco, okay, need 2 and 3 and 4 months, okay, the viso, okay, I use, okay, 6 or 7 months, and the ligero is possible 8, 10, or it's possible 12 months.
The moisture and the tobacco leaves, when you put them on top of each other, they will put pressure on each other. And the tobacco will start to generate heat within itself. And the heat and the moisture will start a fermentation process, which will make the tobacco leaves smoother. It will make it with less nicotine. All the nutrients will be balanced, and it will give you a smoother smoke. The acidity of it will be reduced. The acidity, the harshness will be smoothened. You have to be an artist. You have to know when to rotate, that's what they call rotate the pilon, and whether to add more moisture, more water, how much to add, and what's the change in the temperature.
A lot of time when you're buying these tobaccos, some farmers, they're going to process it to the point that they feel that it's ready to be sold. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is ready to be rolled into a final cigar to be marketed. Usually what that means is when you get them into your factory, you have to have somebody who's a good judge of tobacco and look at it and say, you know what, I think that this needs more fermentation. I think that it needs X amount of days more fermentation.
Fermenting, it's so critical. That can take a couple weeks, it can take several months, you know, and it just depends on the type of tobacco that you're using. This is, again, expertise that they have down at the factories through years and years of experience.
The time that they take to ferment the tobacco, it depends on how thin or how thick the leaves are. The thinnest leaves needs approximately 30 days to be fermented completely. The thicker leaves needs about 90 days, even more, until it's finally perfectly fermented.
Now it's important that the tobacco recovers all these processes that it has gone through, and therefore it needs to rest. It's important to keep the tobacco in bales and let them age in the bales for 6 months, some of them longer than that, for a year, or yet longer.
The next step, too, is to come out with a blend that marries well. The wrappers, the binders, the fillers. Which ones go well together, which ones don't?
In tobacco, there are many different flavors that tobacco can give you. Each leaf is individual in and of itself. Even if it comes from the same farm, the reality is that each leaf may have a slightly different taste than the other.
We like to blend a lot of different tobaccos, and sometimes we're blending all one cigar that is from the same country. So there's just the variety is within the farms that are coming from, say, Nicaragua. But in a lot of cases nowadays, what we're doing is we're really blending the best tobaccos from multiple different countries to come up with a cigar that has a very consistent and pleasing taste.
We test out so many hundreds of them, combinations. You can come out with thousands of combinations if you wanted to. But to find the right match, you just have to go out there and put them together. We have the factories just put together the samples of the different types.
You can't just take any blend, or you can come up with an idea if you'd like, and see how it tastes. But truly you have to understand how each leaf will work with the different leaves in order to create a good blend.
When you make a blend, it doesn't mean that that's the end of the blend. That's a challenge, because you are dealing with a product, with tobacco, which is changing year after year, but you are trying to maintain the same taste profile, the same taste complexity, the same flavor, everything the same. So it's a continuing challenge. But what we are trying to strive is quality, so that every cigar gives the utmost of the pleasure to the consumer.
In order to reach, in order to get to that point where you can have a blend of all the different tobaccos, we needed to go out and get the best tobaccos available around the world, to have the experts in tobacco, to bring out the best of all these different flavors, to combine and bring unique blends to the market.
What we have here is the binder, which is a thin leaf which is used to hold all the fillers. Next step is to place the other leaf according to the blend of each brand. She must roll this perfectly, this leaf, leaving some spaces between in order to let the air flow through the bunch. Well, she's now rolling the bunch. It's almost when she finishes the process of bunching. And then cut the foot of the bunch according to the size and place it in a mold.
Then they will take the mold and put it under the press, so that the tube that we have formed from these different leaves is more consistent, more round. And then we will take those and take it to the final roller, who is going to put the wrapper on this cigar.
Next step, she's putting out the wrapper with this another instrument called chaveta. She's cutting the upper and lower part of the leaf. She selected the best part of the leaves, which is usually the middle of the leaves. She begins the rolling process from the foot to the head of the cigars. She's ending the rolling, just being sure that this kind of shape, which is a figurado size, is perfect. She cut the cigar by the foot according to the size of the cigar.
To gain consistency, what we do, like we have one size, let's say the Robusto size, we will have the same people making the Robusto day in and day out after, so that they know exactly how much Ligero to use, how much Viso to use, and how much Seco to use, so that they know the blend almost by heart. We have supervisors, inspectors, who are going around and checking each bunch that is made and each cigar that is made after that it's rolled, so that it's another place where we check the consistency of the cigar.
I think that ultimately, when you're making a great cigar, to us, one of the most important things is the ease of the draw of the cigar. What we do is we make sure every single one of our cigars goes through a draw test, where it's a machine that we have purchased that a lot of people, most factories in fact have this machine, but I don't think that most factories utilize it the way that we do. We've hired more people that stick the cigar into this chamber, basically, before the wrapper, the exterior portion of the cigar, is placed on the cigar itself. And then it has like a little speedometer looking gauge, and if the needle goes between 20 to 60, it passes our draw test, but if it's below 20 or above 60, then it's rejected because it's either too loose or it's too tight.